Let's be honest, trying to understand a company can feel like you're staring at a locked treasure chest, right? Well, that's exactly what an annual report is. And in the next few minutes, we're not just going to find the key, we're going to crack it wide open together.
Yeah, that feeling? You are definitely not alone. I mean, these things are hundreds of pages long. It's just a wall of dense text, complicated charts, and endless numbers. They're built to be thorough, which, just feels totally overwhelming. But here's the thing. The pros don't read them cover to cover, and neither should you.
So you got to shift your mindset here. An annual report isn't some homework assignment. It's a direct pipeline to the source. Think about it. It's packed with unfiltered commentary from the people in charge, and the raw data you'll never, ever find in a simple news headline. The trick is just knowing exactly where to dig.
Okay, so the first lock on this treasure chest is the sheer size of it. It's designed to be dense, but you cannot let that scare you away. We're going to learn how to completely bypass all the noise and go straight for the good stuff, the signals.
And this right here, this is the most important secret of all. Just forget about reading it from page 1 to page 500. The real skill, the game changer, is having a system, a way to find what actually matters and find it fast. It's all about being strategic, not just having stamina.
So, how do we do it? Well, here is that system. We're going to use a really powerful 5-phase framework that basically acts as our master key. It helps us break down the entire report into a series of quick, strategic moves.
This is our playbook, our game plan, and we're going to tackle it in a focused 90-minute sprint. First, we start with the big picture, the story, and the executive overview. Then, we see if the numbers back up that story by digging into financial performance and financial position. After that, we go looking for icebergs ahead in the risk assessment. And finally, we peek into the crystal ball with the company's future outlook. See the flow? It's logical. Story, numbers, risks, and then the future.
So our investigation kicks off with phase 1, the CEO's letter. This is management's official story, the narrative they want you to believe. Our job isn't just to read it, it's to read between the lines. We're looking for clues about what they might really be thinking. And you can't just skim it, you need a checklist. Don't be a passive reader, actively hunt for this stuff. Pay super close attention to capital allocation. I mean, where are they actually spending their money? And listen, really listen to the tone. Is the CEO confident and specific, or are they kind of defensive and vague? Believe me, that tone can tell you way more than 10 pages of spreadsheets.
Just listen to the difference here. On the left, you get this strong, active language. We delivered 25% revenue growth. That's pure confidence. Now look at the right. Notice all the hedging words? Cautiously optimistic, right size. One is a story of total strength. The other is basically signaling, hey, we're getting ready for some trouble. That's a massive clue.
All right, so now that we've heard the story, it's time to see if the numbers actually agree. This is where we put on our forensic accountant hat. We're officially on the hunt for any financial red flags that show a disconnect between the story and the reality.
You have to remember, the CEO's letter is the sales pitch, but the financial statements, that's the proof. And if that confident story you just read is completely contradicted by weak-looking numbers, boom, you've just found a major red flag that you absolutely have to investigate.
And here are some of the biggest warning signs to look out for. Like, for example, if revenue is growing but their cash flow isn't. That could mean they're making sales on paper but they're not actually collecting the money. Or what about rising inventory? That could mean all their cool products are just piling up in a warehouse instead of being sold. These are the little details that tell the real story.
Okay, check this out. This is a perfect example. The company's out there celebrating 20% revenue growth. Sounds awesome, right? But hold on. Look at the cash they actually generated. It only went up by 5%. So where did that other 15% go? Well, it exists on paper, but it's not in the bank. And that immediately makes you question the quality of that revenue.
So where do you find the answers to questions like that? Right here. It all comes down to the footnotes. I know, they're boring, but this is where companies are forced to disclose their accounting tricks, their debt details, all the stuff they'd rather not put on page 1. Never, ever skip them. This is often where the real treasure is buried.
So, we've got the framework, we know what red flags to look for. This last part is all about making this process your own.
It's about building a personal toolkit so you can do this over and over with any company you look at.
And look, this can be super simple. You start with a basic ratio template to track the hard numbers. Then you use a qualitative scorecard for the fuzzy stuff, like rating the quality of the management team. And finally, you bring it all together in a decision matrix to weigh the pros and cons objectively. It's a simple little system that turns a huge, messy report into a clear decision.
So the real key takeaway today is this. What you've just learned isn't some one-time party trick. It's a repeatable skill. It's a system that gives you a massive advantage, letting you spot the risks and the opportunities that pretty much everyone else, the people who only read the headlines, are going to completely miss.
At the end of the day, every annual report is just a story written in numbers and words. And you now have the tools and the mindset to be the detective who decodes it. So, the only question left is, what story will you uncover next?